Our first programme covering the second racing weekend of the season. Today we're on the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch, and we've got the Fast and Furious Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain, and we'll see that later on in the show. First of all though, we get our first look at the all-new V8 powered Ginetta GT4 Supercup car. Joining me in the commentary box for this one is Paul O'Neill. Round two of the Miller's Oils Ginetta GT4 Supercup Championship here at Brands Hatch. A new era for Ginetta with the G56 and pole position going to yesterday's race winner James Kellett from Reece Summerfield, then Aston Millar and Henry Dawes. First of the G55s headed by yesterday's winner Luke Reed from Ginetta returnee James Taylor. Next up, Darren Young in his first season in Supercup. Blake Anglis is next from Daniel Morris and Ian Duggan. Connor Garlick comes back to the Ginetta fold as well. He's on row 6 with former Aston Martin racer Mike Brown. Luke Waugh on row 7 with James Townsend. Nick Halstead is with us again this season with Wes Pearce on row 8. Colin White after an excursion into the gravel yesterday on row 9, and Tom Empson alongside him. The grid completed by Josh Rattican, Sam Callahan and Gary Townsend. I've got to say James Kellett made it look pretty easy yesterday in qualifying and in the race. He tore away from pole position, and any talk about saving tyres I don't think was in his mind. It certainly didn't show, but we'll see as we get on to this race 2 and race 3 of the weekend coming up later on. Lights are on though. Reasonably long wait. Kellett again assured off the start here at Brands Hatch. Reece Summerfield, great start from Henry Dawes in the red, white and blue car to the outside run, and he's side by side with Aston Millar as they go through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Little bit of hip and shoulders to pinch your parlance there, Paul, between the 3rd and 4th place cars.
Yeah, they're having a go, aren't they? Millar in the number 7 there, down the inside of Dawes, but what a getaway from the race leader. Absolutely makes it as easy as he could, and yeah, everybody gets away with any grass excursions.
Luke Reed trying to make progress as well, but he's got, this is what he did yesterday, and you know, not a huge amount of experience necessarily of the V8 for James Kellett, who is out front. We've got 2 races, remember, to watch, or 4 if you want to get into class business as well, but effectively we've got the old G55s from last year that we've known and loved over many. So look at Kellett, he's checked out. What's the gap? 1.8 seconds on the first lap. That is confidence in cold tyres, and confidence in cold tyres. A lot of moves going on in paddock there, aren't they, as they come down the hill. The 55s having a great battle. Bit of grass there. Look at the colour of that car. Stands out, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Colin White round the outside. Yeah, Colin's making up ground. He lost a lot of time yesterday, a lot of laps yesterday, having an excursion into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend, and got huge applause from the crowd from reversing the car down the hill and back onto the track to negate the safety car. It's James Townsend that he is just ahead of at the moment, and James racing against Ian Duggan, his former GT Cup teammate. So they normally share a car, but they've got a car each in the G55s this year. Interesting to note on the lap chart from lap number 1, James Taylor has got ahead of Luke Reed to take the lead in the G55. So fair play, James Taylor.
Yeah, they're all having battles here and there, aren't they? Look at this now. We've got cars down the inside. That's a good effort, that. I tell you what, it's brave when you're doing that, and that's Darren Young. That's a great move, and he's just put one on one of the cars that's a bit slower than him. That's the 55 cars. So the 56, the newer, more powerful cars with the yellow headlights, they're really making their way through the field, aren't they?
They certainly are. The Ginetta have opted not to run the 55s in a separate grid to the 56s, so wherever you finish is where you start on the grid, and I think that's probably going to get looked at. Is that Darren having a wide moment? It's further back than that. It's Connor Garlick in the 77. Great to see Connor back, and has only got the car last week, so very, very limited time for him moving up from the challenge as we go in car for the first time with Aston Millar. Wow,
listen to that noise, the V8 in these new 56 cars, as Reece Summerfield looked like he'd missed the apex there, but listen to that engine. 500 horsepower in these new G56s. These sound absolutely epic, very much like a NASCAR race, isn't it? And look at this from the blimp.
Yeah, you can hear these. You know when these cars are on track. I was here for the test day on Friday. All of a sudden heard this wonderful NASCAR noise, as you say, Paul. And then we realised that, yeah, do you know what? The Ginettas are on track. Let's go trackside and watch them.
Well, people love noise. People love racing. And I tell you who loves racing is Aston Millar. And he's looking now to go wide, to cut back in. These cars look so nervous. Can't get that 500 horsepower down, but Millar can in the number 7 on board. He's got the slipstream. Not a lot of front aero on these new cars, so they can follow lot closer. Reese Summerfield having to defend. That's late on the brakes from Reese in front. Gets it slowed down. But look at that. The DTO car looking very racy. Needs to get past if he's going to have anything to do with Kelly.
And let's put this in perspective. You know, Aston Miller, of course, junior champion from last year. We know he can race. And the race that sticks in your mind for juniors was the one that, of course, that you had with Liam McNeely at Donington, where they were swapping places. They weren't swapping paint, but they raced really hard. That's where you learn your racecraft, but it's a big step up. It was a big step up into 55s, but into a 56, even more so. And he's got one of the most experienced men on the grid in front of him here. I've got to tell you, Reece Summerfield hasn't had a lot of time in that car, but he's taken to it like a duck to water.
Yeah, he come from nowhere in qualifying, and he's going to lose a place now, but look at that. Millar, that was good driving. That could have ended really badly there. I've seen a few nasty accidents as drivers in front cut across, but Reece thought the corner was his, and it was his because he really cracked on, didn't he, and just shut the door. But this battle is raging. Look who now is knocking on the door. There's a third car coming into this. It's looking good behind as well.
That's going to be Henry Dawes, isn't it, coming into the mix as Tom Empson makes a move around the outside of James Taylor. So that's a 56 passing the lead 55 car. Just check on that. Taylor in the 55s has got a bit of traffic between himself. Blake Angliss second in the 55s at the moment, and Luke Reed, yesterday's winner, is down in third place in class at the moment. An issue for Mike Brown.
That has had a hit on the back of the car. What has happened there? Has he lost it, or has he been hit? Oh, is that Luke Ward just nailed him?
Yeah.
Ah, that's a shame. That locked up, wasn't he? Luke was in that number 11. Great stuff, and look now, we're back to the battle for second place. This is the greatest. Look at this camera footage we're getting from the blimp, the onboard. This Wonderful. Is excellent stuff.
Absolutely superb. Great switch of cameras to give us the in-car view and then see what it looks like from up above into Paddock Hill Bend. Of course, you can't see the drop away. That is, for me, one of the most scariest corners in British motorsport there. I've been a passenger around it. I've never actually driven it properly in anger. I've driven on track days and stuff in a road car, but
I've never driven it properly in anger either. But look, there's a lot of anger going on. Colin White now. Look at this in the CWS car. He's really trying to put the pressure on the number 22, who's leading the AM category of the G56s, and now he's having to look at Blake Angliss, who's in a different class of car behind him, but he should never get past with the power differential he's got. But there's just everywhere you look, there's a battle.
There's something going on everywhere. There's so much to talk about, and now we got that change 4-second position, and Aston Miller into, but look at this, Summerfield's having a look, very comfortable, the Focus car with this. I was chatting to his dad yesterday, said that he absolutely loves the car. They really are getting to grips with it. It is a new, and they've approached it as a completely new race car, which is exactly what they need to do. Henry Dawes here, no slouch either. This is a drive of the career so far from Henry Dawes. Great to see him up with these guys.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Very impressive from Henry. Good stuff in the Domino's car, really good stuff. So the replay from up above, and this is into clearways. Does he run wide and dive? He does run a touch wide, and look at that. Reece knew he was done, and then he got on the power nice and early. But what you see from Reece is that he just, look at the toe. Tell you what, he has checked out. Look at the speed of James Kellett around clearways. Oh no!
That's a shame. One of the breakout cars, that is Wes Pearce. It's not been his race at all, has it, Wes? Podium yesterday in class, but not going to be that case now in the gravel, but
he'll get out with that.
He's going to get out, okay,
I think. But yeah, look at this. Darren Young,
he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there. He's doing a fantastic job, amazing. And we're hearing that Wes Pearce has got out of the gravel, so
fair
great stuff. But that's, you can see the gravel dust just in our shot then, as Colin White must have energised his left rear tyre, because he's really dropping back from Darren. Darren is cracking on now. That's really interesting stuff, isn't it?
It is. Colin's done quite a bit of time in the V8 with Ginetta as well, running in endurance. So, as you know, he races pretty much every weekend that he can, and has done loads of work as, yeah, getting into a little bit of traffic.
Callahan, that was just a pass with a back marker, wasn't it?
Yep, Sam Callahan. Good to see him here. He's just happy to be out.
You can just hear the traction control as he was on the power then, that brr, 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 that soft cut on the engine. Yeah, just heard a little bit of it. Not too intrusive, but yeah, as soon as the car slides, there's, yeah, that's just a change, isn't it, for another that's back marker again. I think that's Sam Callahan again, isn't it? Just getting out the way of everybody.
Yeah, Sam's dad used to race as well. Sam, a finalist on the X Factor a few years ago. He's just got a single out as well.
Never knew that.
Yeah, good muso as well.
Wow.
Lovely chap. Really good to welcome him into the paddock and learning his way. He knows he's not going to set the world on fire, but this is his passion now. He was telling me, absolutely loving it. Lovely to see Mike Brown back out in the 20 car. He got a podium yesterday, the ex-Aston driver. And yeah, Kellett 6.9 seconds clear as we look at Rattigan and Empson dicing it out for 5th position overall, and also, of course, in the new G56 class.
Rattigan has got fastest lap, and that is no mean feat against the field that he's competing against. So Rattigan's on it. Look at this. He went left, he went right. Look at that. That is
down the inside.
Great move, isn't it? Look at the wheel spin, because Empson's going to have a look back at him. Oh, don't squeeze it too much. Brilliant. Love it.
This is what Lawrence Tomlinson and the team at Ginetta wanted to provide close racing. We've always seen it in Supercup, but the V8s, the sound's awesome, as we've already said. And there are more tyre options, by the way, on the 56s. They use a slightly harder compound than the 55s, which will get them through the meeting with all the added power going through them. But the tyre sizes are the same back to front, so they can, when they're doing the tyre rotation, they can do it diagonally rather than just side to side. Yeah,
which is a great help, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Dan Morris, yesterday's 55 amateur class winner, having a little trip on the grass, and through goes the 24. Going through, making up a position. That's James Townsend up into 2nd position in the G55 amateur class. That currently being headed by Ian Duggan, his former GT Cup teammate. It's Mike Brown coming up towards us. Mike's son Adam, one of the best improvers in the juniors last year, and nice to chat to Mike. Just wanted to be out racing the same weekends as his son. And I said, how does this compare? And potentially opening a can of worms, talking to him who's raced GT Aston Martins. How does the new Ginetta come in? I absolutely love it, he said. That is real praise, isn't it, from an Aston driver?
And I know why he'll say that, because I've kind of driven, I haven't driven these new cars, but I know where he's coming from, because I've driven that type of other GT4 car as well. And it's more of a driver's car, I'd say. This, you really, yeah. You're on the throttle and the car's on the throttle with you, and you turn in and it turns in with you. It's a really raw kind of car. That's why this is so popular.
Mike's on for another podium, actually, in the G56 AM class, running in 3rd place at the moment. So looking very good for him at the moment. Rattigan, we saw making the move on Empson, and he's still got the fastest lap, 47.034. There are fastest lap points available in the Ginetta Championship. There he is. I
tell you what, that 21, if it keeps going like this, it's going to be on the back of that battle in front.
It's not far away, you're right.
It really isn't. I mean, the fastest lap, he's a lot faster than the guys in front. He's like he's 9/10 quicker. Look, he's got doors in the sight.
Is he doing his tyres though?
Well, I think look, you can see the attitude of that car over the brow, on the brakes. Like, he's going to be on him. His car is working unbelievable. You can see the speed in Rattigan's car. He's with him already.
Second youngest driver in the race, this one. The youngest, I think, being Aston Miller. But yeah, this is really coming alive, Paul, isn't it? The race for 4th position, still 3 minutes on the clock, and Henry Dawes, maybe rather than looking ahead, will start just giving those glances in the rear mirror now.
Wow, this is a battle to watch. Rattigan in that 21, that car just looks like it's on rails. I don't know whether he's just got a way of, he's getting every apex, and you can just see Henry in front just running a touch wide away from the apex. He's going to be on him in the middle of this lap.
He's certainly closing down. This is we've seen some really good drives in this thus far. The gap, well, there's me thinking Kellett's taking it easy. 7.4 seconds clear to make it 2 out of 2, and he will therefore, as I say, have a lot more work to do in race 3. It'll be interesting to see whether he sits back, whether he's managed enough in his tyres to go on a charge in race 3. But this is close. This is for 4th and 5th position. Josh Rattigan closing in on the Scott Henry Dawes. Oh!
Big wiggle. Rattigan's flatter. This is the thing that the drivers are talking about. They're energising the tyres. And I think Rattigan, you can only do that for a few laps, and then you've got to just go a bit steadier and make sure that tyre cools down, because that 21 now has took a lot out of its tyres.
So the 23, that's Gary Townsend, one of the Assetto Motorsport team. Assetto working very closely with Ginetta and development of the car last year in British GT. Nick Halstead, you might remember, had an outing in the Tour. Was it Croft Touring Cars last year for Nick?
Croft Touring Cars. He had a podium at the British GT round with Jamie Stanley and McLaren. So does a lot of racing, Nick.
Good guy, Nick.
Really good guy. I tell you what, he's lit and he's on it. He's going to pass. He's going to have a go here.
He is having a look. So Gary Townsend is, of course, they won't do any any lunges because they want to bring the car home and get it out for race number 3. And Nick's done loads of stuff with Ginetta over the years, a multi-champion at the amateur level, and now finds himself in the 55 Pro category. And that's what it's about, you know, Ginetta trying to encourage him further up the grid as they cross the line. 1 minute 33 to go. Kellett 7.8 seconds clear. Those guys continue with their battle, and Gary Townsend under fair amount of pressure at the moment. That white and purple machine, all of that for 4th and 5th. Halstead in the 55 Pros, Townsend in the 55 AM class. So at the moment, Gary doing the stronger job of the two. So we go back to the race leader, closing stages of this one, and James Kellett. I don't know what people are going to have to do to get on terms with him.
Well, he definitely looks like the man to beat, doesn't he? I mean, it's just phenomenal. His first lap and his second lap and his third lap, and he's just been up the road. But that's just a pass, isn't it, for Aston Miller? And he's just trying to get past a few back markers here.
That's the Halstead Townsend.
Ah, yes, so it is. And here's the difference in the speed: 500 brake horsepower versus 355. Amazing stuff. Listen to that. Just listen to this car.
Yeah.
Love it, Rich. I do
James Kellett was saying that it's actually quieter in the car. He found the 56 quieter than the 55 because of all the insulation and everything you got.
Amazing, isn't it? Wouldn't think it. That's a great shot. We've got some battles here still.
Yeah, coming through the field there, you can see the red, white and blue Domino's livery just passing. Nick Halstead as well goes through. And now the 71 car's right on him, isn't he? He's having a go.
Ratican, isn't it? He's having a go.
You were right. He's right there with him. Only got 9 seconds on the clock. Are they going to get one more lap out of this one, or are we going to see a checker at the end of this one?
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! Oh, has he got him? No, he just can't get the power down. And this is the final lap, so there must have only been a second or two. And James Kellett is now on his final lap, but this is the battle, and they've got back markers to deal with as well.
Well, Henry Dawes, former Fun Cup champion, certainly no slouch in the car. You'd question perhaps when he came in as a pro and Ginetta rated him as that. Ratican's having a good go. We've got a little bit of traffic for them to deal with as well on this final tour. Let's see how this pans out as they come down Graham Hill. Ratican, I think he half thought about having a look down on the inside as they go into Graham Hill along Cooper Straight. A little bit of traffic for them to deal with. It's Gary Townsend. A little bit of a clout for Townsend. A little bit nervous, I think, there for Henry Dawes. Checkered flag, though. James Kellett wins race number 2 of the championship. 2 out of 2 for Kellett, who returned here. Here is the battle, though, between these two for 4th place. Ratican on the inside line, side by side. Pedal to the metal, up to the line, photo finish, and I think Henry Dawes is going to hang on to it. He does just mega finish. Reasonably long wait. Kellett again assured off the start here at Brands Hatch. Rhys Summerfield, great start from Henry Dawes in the red, white and blue car to the outside run, and he's side by side with Aston Miller as they go through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. There's something going on everywhere. There's so much to talk about, and now we got that change 4-second position. A little bit of traffic for them to deal with. It's Gary Townsend. A little bit of a clout for Townsend. A little bit nervous, I think, there for Henry Dawes. Checkered flag, though. James Kellett wins race number 2 of the championship. So here's how they finish round 2 of the Miller's Oils Ginetta GT4 Super Cup Championship. 2 out of 2 for James Kellett from Aston Miller in 2nd. Rhys Summerfield, very good podium for him in 3rd, and a superb drive from Henry Dawes and Josh Ratican 4th and 5th. 6th goes to Tom Emson from Darren Leung, who wins the amateur class for the 56. He's ahead of arch rival Colin White. And a win in the 55s for Blake Anglish, his first victory in Ginetta. Congratulations, Blake. Luke Reed, yesterday's winner, 2nd, completing the top 10. Then it was Ian Duggan, top G55 amateur from James Taylor, who completes the 55 Pro podium. Connor Garlick next from James Townsend and Daniel Morris. Gary Townsend 16th from Nick Halstead and Mike Brown. Wes Pearce in 19th, and then Sam Callahan in 20th. Luke Waugh having some issues, a little bit of contact for him in the course of the race, but that concludes a splendid round 2 of. So James Kellett is the championship leader, 16 points clear of a tie for 2nd place with a 2nd and a 3rd each in the 2 races so far. Aston Miller and Rhys Summerfield. Henry Dawes 4th from Josh Ratican. And in the G56 amateur class, Darren Leung 15 points clear of Mike Brown, with Colin White in 3rd from Wes Pearce. The 55, still plenty to play for in the older 55 chassis, with Luke Reed having the championship lead by 2 points from Blake Anglish as we head to race 3. James Taylor in 3rd from Connor Garlick and Nick Halstead. And the 55 amateurs headed by Ian Duggan from Dan Morris. James Townsend is 3rd from Luke Waugh, and Gary Townsend